joining this stream. Thank you for finding your time to speak about your case and maybe repeat certain things that we discussed last time with you, but now already from a different perspective, right? From a perspective where we already have an approval, which is always a great result. I'm always excited about my clients who get approved in the cases like yours, and especially in your case, Leo, is that when basically you were going all in on your case, that's always adds some it adds the zest to the whole process, and of course always good news when we achieve the proper result. To start with it, with the whole thing, tell me how did it feel to get the news that your case was approved? What you felt at that moment?
Hard to explain, because it's a mix of, you cannot believe it, because you start working in the case and do all this work all this time, but you always feel like, is this really possible? And when you receive this, your call and the email, oh my God, I really did it. It's unbelievable. You cannot describe this, because I remember that I told you when you called me that I didn't feel my foot. I was like flying, like floating.
Right. Levitating, basically. When you're actually in the routine of preparing the case, like you're so into that you like it's hard to see the bigger picture, and you start doubting yourself and doubting the process, and that's basically everybody who's going through this going through the same thing. So I'm not surprised to hear that you felt kind of the same, and of course I'm not surprised to hear that you felt like a butterfly when you got the result and you knew what was going on. So these are great news. Leonardo, let's get down to your case. Let's start with the very beginning. Let's remember what happened, and it was like a little bit less than a year ago when we met with you on a stream like this, basically on a Zoom. Let's remember what was happening back then. What was the result of our meeting? Where was your case at that time, and what was the perspective?
I think that was the hardest part, trying to build a case around, an aerospace case as a chemical engineer, because if you are not an engineer, maybe any other engineer should know that, okay, we have some kind of background, mechanical engineer, chemical engineer, aerospace engineer, that is our base. So basically I can perform many of the tasks that an aerospace engineer do. So okay, but we need to build a case for a non-engineer reader, because the UCIS officer is not an engineer. So I think that was the hardest part. And you noticed in our very first meeting, and you told, okay, your case is really good. It seems really strong because the national importance, because you are well positioned, but we have to put the information to the officer that he can understand that yes, chemical engineer can do that, and actually do that, because I do. It's my job.
Yeah, so basically, in other words, the hardest thing about the case and your doubt in the beginning of the case was that your background as a chemical engineer to narrow it down to the possibility that it's possible to do the aerospace work for the industry, and more detailed to work with the satellites, with testing satellites and do everything else. I should say it wasn't an easy task, but I think went through it proudly with our flags flying, and we did a great job, and you, Leo, did a great job adding to the case according to my strategy. So that thing was taken care of. Tell us a little bit more about your exact background, which we used in a well-positioned criterion for the case, and what exactly was the endeavor, the proposed endeavor in your case. So maybe let's start with the proposed endeavor, and what was your well-positioned, what was your background for this endeavor?
Yeah, basically, my endeavor is, I will offer this manufacturing service and vibration test service aerospace companies. I mean, speaking generally, this is important, because everything that is going to be launched into space needs to be vibrated. Your cell phone, for sure, not one cell phone in particular, but almost everything has to pass for vibration testing. In the case of satellites or any aerospace hardware, need to be vibrated in order to avoid accident inside the rocket, because during the launching there is a lot of vibration,
shaking and vibration.
Explosion. Yeah, this is an explosion before behind your super. So basically, you need to test every hardware that is going to be launched to space. So my background basically is that I have more than 6 years vibrating satellites, and not only satellites but telescope, propulsion systems for satellite. And
so if you don't understand what those tests are, it's like just imagine like Leo is entering like the lab, and there is like satellite. He comes to it and like starts shaking it, like shaking like crazy. And just reading the I'm just kidding. We need to test these satellites and whatever technology is going into the space. And what Leo is saying is, because there's a lot of shaking when things are getting into the space, and maybe there's a lot of shaking over there, Lord knows, then we need to build those satellites and that technology in a way to withhold all this craziness that happens between the launch and basically the end of the work of this satellite in the future. So he was the person who was preparing those tests, doing those tests, reading those tests, and that's basically his proposed endeavor based on the experience to do the same for the space industry in the United States of America. Did I summarize it right, Leo?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the other thing that is included in my endeavor is the manufacturing part, because I perform basically two biggest part of the manufacturing of satellite. So vibration testing and the part of improve the manufacturing process, because vibration testing is part of the manufacturing process. It's a testing. It's a part of testing, and the other part is improve the manufacturing process. I mean, for example, I create a process for accepting the electronic component of the satellite, or how to make measures of the mechanical pieces in a way that you avoid waste of time or waste of material. But basically, that the endeavor was improve the manufacturing process of aerospace and perform vibration testing.
Yeah, and you know, to me it sounds like Chinese, and of course I wrote the memorandum of the case, and now I know pretty much a lot of things about aerospace engineering. But yeah, it was a very interesting case, Leo, and I think you were, because you were also very committed to the case and basically did everything that I asked for. That was also a very good recipe for the approval of the case. In your opinion, what was the hardest part of the case? And I know we discussed your education and your past experience, how we that was a hard case, part of the case also, but that was more like a legal side. What was a hard thing on the practical side of preparing the case?
All the process is hard because, I mean, you have to work. You have to work. This is not, something straightforward that, is done by itself. But I think the work in the project, in the details of the project, because you have to build a project. I mean, the project that you send to the officer.
Yeah, you present in the case.
Yeah, exactly. The way you present this without being so technical, because you have to be technical, but not at a level that a root square of the sinusoidal signal. You know what I mean? I mean, you have to present this to a person that is not an engineer, a person that probably does not know anything about vibration testing, and that's kind of complicated because this is a complicated process. Vibration thing is not an easy stuff. So
No,
trying to
definitely,
explain this.
absolutely. Basically, there were a few tasks here. First of all, Leonardo had to explain it to me, so I could understand it. You know, that's already a big difficulty because you know, I'm not in the space engineering. So we went through this. Okay, that was pretty clear. The second task is to make sure that when Leonardo was describing the case in his personal statement, to explain it as if it's a 6-year-old boy or a girl. So simple terms, with no formulas, with no square roots, with no craziness, just what exactly that should do, what the essence of the work. And the third task is for me to, again, to translate everything that we have in the case and all the recommendation letters and a description of the project and the professional plan, what exactly is going on. Because like Leo said, of course, the immigration officer has no idea what's a satellite, what's the vibration, how things work. So you have to be really simplistic in the ways to describe everything what's going on. So I can see how that was a very difficult part of the case. What else, Leo? What else you think was difficult besides that?
Of course, the recommendation letter, because the recommendation letter is not, you know, okay, I know Leo, this is a great guy. No, it's not this is not the kind of recommendation letter. This has to be very precise about the work, that if somebody is making a recommendation letter, okay, it's not the why, it's the how. So trying to explain in the letter how this guy worked with you, you know, side by side, and explain that again in a simple term, but explaining the deep of the work that we perform together. Like I say, I got letters from people from UK, United States, Brazil, here in Uruguay, several people with several knowledge in different, only of course in aerospace, but basically in different parts of the process of vibration testing. One of them was my manager. He's not an expert in vibration. He's the manager, so he knows some stuff, but not at the level as I know. But for example, there is another guy that is my provider of the service of the software of the shaker, so he knows a lot. And so basically, you have to link the different, you know, vector of the knowledge and try to explain that to the officer again in a letter, simple but, you know, precise. It's kind of weird the way it sounds, but it is that.
Yeah, definitely. Simple and precise way. That's the overall approach. And I like how you put it, that the recommendation or expert opinion letters, because we had a couple of those, they need to tell exactly how things were done or how things will be done sometimes in the future. And that's definitely the difference between the general understanding what's the recommendation or reference letter, like you said, like, yeah, he's a great guy, great ethics and this and that. Yeah, it's all good, but what exactly we can do and how we can do this and how we did that in the past. You participated in our NEO program, where by chance, and I think it was a good luck, we had other clients in the company also in the aerospace engineering theme, and the case is similar to yours. So can you tell and explain how the NEO program works in my company, and what did you get out of it?
It was like an exchange of not recommendation, expert letter.
Expert letters.
There are two guys. They have similar project. I was the first time I read their profile. I said, "Wow, this guy are really good. This guy are really experts in the aerospace industry." So having an expert letter from this guy, you know, you feel like, "Oh wow, this is deep."
Yeah.
Yeah, and the strategy in this case was, you know, you write down a recommendation, an expert letter from your perspective about them, and they do the same for you. About the result of this letter, I was stunned. It was amazing. In fact, I told the paralegal that it really surprised me. I was really surprised because the expert letter was incredible. I was reading it and I said, wow, 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 wow. I cannot believe that this is part of my case. I even thought that this is even better than my project.
That's good. Well, I think it's a really good feedback. For those of you guys who don't know what we're talking about, the like what's this NIW program? What are you guys talking about? Expert opinions. So basically, if you guys work with my company, the way we do the cases, we segment them. So these guys are engineers, you're IT, you're business people, you're sport, whatever it is. And if you participate in NIW program, basically we'll find you a match between your case, your talent, your project, whatever that is, and some other clients in the company who don't know you and you don't know them. So those letters are usually the strongest ever you can get, because you get expert opinion objective from expert who doesn't know you or your work. So basically, we can get you up to 4 letters in a company through this project that we implemented last year, and the power of those letters, they just through the roof. Like Leonardo said, that it was amazing letters, and maybe even the strongest piece of evidence in the case, and easy for the officer to read and understand and see the objectivity of those letters. So nowhere else you can get those letters but within the company working with my team. By the way, Leonardo, how you assess the work of the team that was on your case? How was the communication? How was the process of reviewing and commenting on the paperwork? Can you give your opinion on that?
I always had an answer from the team. I remember that I told you when you called me the day of the approval that I just want to say thanks to Ekaterina, because she was really amazing with me during the case. She was always answering my questions. I mean, she wasn't like my guy. She guided me through with my hand, and the team was always commit with my case. I always have the answers, mostly from Ekaterina, but every time that I need some information, I got.
Okay, very good.
The team is key. It's key during the case.
Oh, absolutely. And when you get a team assigned to your case, you need to understand that these people, they've done a lot of cases. So and of course, I control all the teams, and I overlook the entire process. So basically, I do things in the case with the hands of the team that's actually working on the case. Okay, so let's look at the questions. I see a couple of questions, Leo, so let's go through them and then go to the last part of today's interview. So the question number 1, he's asking how many years of experience does Leo have? And I think, Leo, you already answered that question. I think about 6 years you mentioned, right?
Yeah, exactly. 6 years.
Yeah.
Well,
so
when we start the case, working in the case, I have 5, but during the time that we were working, I got at least 6 years of experience.
Second question, I-140 approved, but due to the wait time, he has to wait 1 year plus. So basically, yes, that's the visa bulletin. And again, we're not gonna put a lot of time about the forecast. I think that the wait is gonna shrink in 2024, just due to the trends that are going right now. But yeah, you still have to wait for around a year in anyways, even if it's EB1A, because that's how long it takes for the embassy to process the documents. So basically, any wait time for EB2 category that is not over a year is not going to make a huge difference. So basically, let's say if Leo had got the EB1A approved, there would have been a 1 year also. So in this case, it doesn't really matter. And basically that was a comment, but the question was from Danish, can he apply O1 and get approval more quickly? Yeah, if Leo told me in the beginning of the case, hey, the time was of the essence, I need to get in the States as soon as possible, we could build a strategy where we get O1 case done, then EB2 NIW, and for that matter, having Leo already in the US and waiting for the green card here in the country. So that's definitely a possibility. So Leo, if you invented the time machine and you could go back to the beginning of your case, when you were starting doing your case, what would be the advice that you would give to yourself?
I would say to myself that dedicate a little bit more time working on the project, because you know, when you start working on the project, you are like a train. You have all the energy, but this is a process that lasts 6 months. So the first 1 or 2 months you are working like crazy, but then you relax. Okay, maybe this takes more time or whatever, or you have your life. The life continues, so, and you relax. And then I remember that you sent me a message in Telegram. Okay, we're running out of time. We haven't completed the documentation. Please, you have to deliver all the documents in time. So then I start working like crazy again. So yeah, I think that, that my advice. Yeah. A sinusoidal signal. So basically that will be my advice. The other thing that, okay, you feel sometimes that, oh, I did the correct decision, because you hesitate because you probably don't believe that you are able to do this. But yes, you have the experience, you know inside that you are an expert in something, but you have this fear of taking this first step. So I remember that I clicked the button of contact you. Okay, now we are in this. So I have to believe in me. I believe it in me. So I start working with you, and the things start going, smooth after starting working.
So basically, I can summarize it in 2 things, what Leonardo said. Number 1, trust the process, guys. Trust the process and do the work, what's required from you by the strategy that I create in the beginning of your case. And number 2, very important, believing in yourself and believing in your case, because that translates in the quality of your work. Because if you don't believe what you do, I mean, you can read it between the lines, but if you do, then things look different. Leonardo, one of the last questions: why and how? What was your train of thoughts? Why did you entrust yourself and your future in my hands, in the hands of my company? What was the trigger points why you decided to go with us?
I think you asked me a question like this in our first meeting, and it's this. I think the answer is the same, because I contacted several attorneys. When you are starting looking for this kind of service, okay, I contact this. One of the things that was for me, particularly, is the fastest of your answer, because when you are hiring attorney, you need answers. This is important. I mean, if you are basically putting your life, because it's your life, this is a life-changing decision in somebody that answer you 4 days later, a week. No, this is not the way that it should be working. You need the people that is committed with you, because they believe in you, they believe in your case. So you need answers, and you need the answer the fastest as possible. I mean, I'm not speaking about 1 minute or 5 minute answer, but at least a couple of hours. And
Yes.
I remember that I was contacting your team by WhatsApp, and this guy was answering me like it was a friend. You know, we were texting. So this is important. It was, you know, a key decision.
Yes, and definitely that's one of the things that we are very proud of, that basically we stream the cases of our clients live. So basically it's an online streaming of the case. So work is being done at the same time, very fast response rate. And that's basically in our contracts that you must get answered to your question maximum within 24 hours, but in fact you get the answer almost immediately. Okay, so and definitely that's I think that's important in today's world where things are very fast, and we want to get information almost at the same time as we requested. Leonardo, any closing words, any closing statement on your side?
Yeah, I think the comment that I put in your Google page.
Google review, yes.
Google review. The important thing is the result. In the story, the important thing is you succeed. Maybe you during this time, 6 months working, 6 months of here, lot fighting, you know, trying to get all the information. But when you get this result, you realize that it's possible. The important thing at the end of the story is the result. So trust in yourself for the people, trust in yourself, trust in your profile, and trust in your company. You will get the result.
Absolutely, and we are result oriented. We are not the company that just wants to grab somebody's money and not caring about what's going to happen in the future. We do care about the result. We stay with the clients as long as the client trusts us and shows that trust in the process. We're going to give 100% of ourselves, of our resources. So, Leo, thank you very much for your time. Thank you for being a great client. Thank you for spending not one, but 2 times giving us an interview and explaining your case. And I'm really happy we got a result for you, for your family, for your kids. I think it is a life-changing, and definitely it's always good to play a role in somebody's life to change it for the best, for better, for the best. So I wish you good luck. I cannot wait to see you here in the States once you get your green card, and we still stay on your case until the day when you get your visa stamp and a passport. So we're in contact, and of course you'll be able to contact us anytime through the new team that's on your matter. Leo, thank you for your time. I wish you all your best, and probably next time I'll see you already here in the States.
I hope so.
All right, so good luck to you.
Bye.
Take care.